Hi, I'm Tim and you're watching Mr. Tim Tech on YouTube. As you know, I'm currently in the process of doing some Grandstream networking product videos, as you can hopefully see from the cabinet behind me. As you already know, if you've watched some of my videos in the Grandstream series, that I've installed a router, a switch, and also, as I'm still running some UniFi equipment in the form of UniFi Protect devices, cameras, doorbells, door chime, so on, I needed a solution, and rather than use my UDM Pro, I decided to purchase a sole device for just using UniFi Protect. And if you've already guessed, I probably know what this is, and it's a UNVR, which I've got in the box here. So let's just open up the box and take a look at this UNVR. As you can see, UniFi devices now come in sort of plain packaging with just their logo on the back, and then some instructions and information as well on the back there, as you can see. So let's get this box opened by peeling the paper tape, opening the box, and let's see what we've got inside. So at the top we have a little box inside. Let's open this first and see what's inside this. I'm guessing, yeah, it's the power cable. However, it's a European style plug, as you can see, which we don't have here in the UK. However, it has been supplied with a separate power plug, and it's a UK plug on there. So inside the little box here, we have the UniFi guide, and also there's another little cardboard box inside here. Let's take this power cable out, and we should be able to get in and open up. Actually, we'll take out this little white box, as you can see, and in here, if you're already a UniFi person, then you'll know that these contain the screws and rubber feet for mounting it in a network cabinet or actually sitting it on a shelf or desk. And there's also small screws there for mounting the hard drives in the actual unit as well. So we'll put those to one side. We've got a little QR code. We also have a pair of rack mount brackets in this little cardboard box, as you can see here in, there we go. Take those two out, so they're the rack mount brackets. We'll get rid of that old power supply European one, throw that away. Inside the box, I've got a little sort of shelf in the box there with nothing underneath that. That's what we left that, get rid of that. That QR code, we don't need that, get rid of that. And those plastic bits, put them out the way. And then let's get to the main thing, which is in the box here. And there's the empty box, so with nothing left in there, so throw that away. Polystyrene packaging, hopefully they'll be able to get rid of this one day. But obviously it protects it in transit on the circuit boards. Get rid of that polystyrene packaging. And here we have in another plastic bag, which also protects it in transit, stops it getting damaged and scratched or whatever. Let's take this out. And here we have the Ubiquiti UniFi UNVR. I'm not going to hold this up for long because it's quite heavy. As you can see, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 drive bays at the front, each with little stickers over them to stop them falling out. The sides, we have just the holes there where we mount the rack mounting ears, and the same either side. At the rear of the unit, we have the power input. It has an internal power supply in it, so there's no external power brick. We have 3 fans at the rear, so there's 3 cooling fans in that. And there's also a 10 gig SFP Plus port there. So if we take the cover off that, you'll see that it needs a transceiver module inserting in there, so it's not actually an RJ45 connection for the 10 gig port. Let's put the cover back on that. I'm not going to be using 10 gig on this as I don't really need it. Then next to that is a 1 gig RJ45 network port, which is that one there. Then also we have a UPS, so it's a UPS connect port, so you can connect it up to the Ubiquiti UPS. What we'll do is I will get this mounted in the network cabinet here below the patch panel, and then we'll go to the computer and we'll get UniFi Protect set up and adopt the devices that I've already got. If you're based in the UK, I'm not sure this applies to Europe and in the US, but currently if you're purchasing a UNVR and you get a good deal on their hard drives as well, they are Western Digital hard drives, which I'll show you in a moment. But if you purchase a UNVR and hard drives, you get a free G4 bullet camera sent to you, which is worth about 150 British pounds sterling. So that's actually a really good value at the moment. Whether the offer's still on when you're watching this video, I don't know, but hopefully it is, and you're able to take advantage of that if you need to purchase a UNVR. So I'll just put that to one side. And here's the UVC bullet, which is in the box, as you can see, and UVC G4 bullet, so that came free with the UNVR and the hard drives. So here's the box with the hard drives. These are 1 terabyte hard drives, hopefully you'll be able to see, and they're in white boxes, so let's just get one of those open, peeling off the thing, and they're in a plain white box, cardboard box, which can be recycled, and inside all you'll find is, we'll take the polystyrene packaging out, all you'll find is the hard drive in the protective packaging. And to confirm, you'll actually see that they are Western Digital 1 terabyte model WD10PURZ, and they are SATA hard drives which can cope with 6 gigabits per second. So they are Western Digital purple ones, which are used for surveillance, I believe. So they're 24/7 operation, supposed to be set for that. So we'll just peel that protected packaging. Just a Western Digital SATA hard drive, 1 terabyte. So I've got 3 of those, and I'll probably be only using 2 in the UNVR. So I'll get those installed, get it mounted in the cabinet, and then we'll go and set it up in the software. Here we are at the computer screen, and let's get this UNVR set up and added into my new Grandstream network. So what I've done at the moment is logged into my GWN7003 router, and what we need to do is obtain the IP address for the UniFi Protect UNVR. So to do this, what we need to do on the left hand side is click on Clients. Then this will bring up a list of clients which are connected to your network. Now you may not see all of them because there might be more than one page, so the page navigation is here. You can see there's 2 pages. So what we'll do instead is, where it says 10 pages, what we'll do is change it to 100 page. This will then bring up the whole list of clients all on one screen. So now that we have one page, as you see here, we have all of the clients currently connected, and there's also a couple there for the door chime and the doorbell which have been disconnected. I actually previously connected them just to test everything before I recorded this setup video for you, just to make sure everything was working properly. So what we need to do is look for the UNVR. Now here you'll see under device name we have UNVR01. This is the name that I gave it in the router, and yours might be showing up as something else, but it will show us something as UniFi UNVR or something similar to that. You should be able to find out what it is, and what we need to do is obtain the IP address. So here under the IP address list we have the IPv4 address of 192.168.1.148. This is a DHCP IP address which is picked up from our router from the UNVR. So make a note of the IPv4 address. Then what we can do is log out of the router, as we don't need to go in there anymore. So once you've made a note of the IP address, click log out from the top right corner, hover over the admin name, and the drop down menu will show log out. So click log out. Then at the address bar at the top of your internet browser, type in the IPv4 address for your UNVR. And as you remember, it was 192.168.1.148. So once you've pasted that in, press enter. You should then be prompted with a screen saying UniFi Protect Network Video Recorder Setup, or something similar to that. Your screen may look slightly different depending on what version of the firmware and software you are using, but I've already previously done an update before I did the initial testing just to make sure everything was correct. So you'll see that we might have some information in there from before, but you'll have something the same or very similar. So just follow along with the video. Name your UniFi console box. We have UNVR in there already, so I'm going to change that to UNVR01. Just in case I get a second UNVR or a third or whatever, then I'll subsequently change the number to UNVR 02, 3 and so on. Once we've done that, in the bottom right corner, click Next. Now it's asking you to create a UI account. Now I'm not going to be using the UI account as I don't need to use the cloud service, so I'm just going to keep the recordings local. However, if you do want a cloud account, then you can go ahead and enter your email, username and password in the create a UI account. But if you want it just local recordings and don't wish to access your UNVR from the cloud, then at the bottom you need to select proceed without a UI account. Then from the pop-up window that appears, skip account setup, you can agree to the terms of service, so tick that box and then click continue anyway. The screen should appear saying set console password. So what you need to do is create a secure password which you want to access your UNVR console with. Copying and pasting a password in there that I've already generated, and then once you've pasted that in there, click finish in the bottom right corner. It will then proceed to set up your UniFi OS. So this should take about 1 minute. Yours may take longer or be slightly quicker, and as you can see it's done it very quickly and it's now saying setup complete. So now what we need to do is in the bottom right corner, click go to dashboard. Now it's saying your connection is not private. All we need to do on that is click advanced and then click on proceed to 192.168.1.148. You will then be prompted with the UniFi OS login page. So in the password box, paste in the password that you just created in that previous screen and click sign in. Here you will see we now have the OS settings, and we're in the OS settings screen of course, and what we're going to do is set up our OS settings and also set up UniFi Protect. Now it's saying if we hover over Protect and the update word, you'll see that we've got version 2.9.42 installed. Now what it's wanting to do is upgrade to 3.0.26, which of course we'll be doing. So first what we'll do is set up our OS settings. We'll proceed to install and update Protect. So as you can see, we're on UniFi OS version 3.2.12. Yours may be a lower version or a higher version depending on when you're watching this video, but whichever, if it prompts you to update your UniFi OS at this stage, please proceed and just go through the upgrade steps to update the version. Now for the auto update settings, you will see that it's set to auto update UniFi OS and the application. I prefer to update it myself manually when I choose, so what we're going to do is untick both of those boxes and click apply changes. This will now allow us to do manual updates when we get notified. So now that we've done that, we'll click on admins and users, and you'll see it brings us into the users screen. Now you'll see there's admin, which is us as we're logged in at the moment, and it's saying status active. Now what I'm going to do is create a second user specifically for my mobile phone, so that when I'm on my home Wi-Fi network, I can view the Protect videos on my mobile phone should my computer not be in use or be switched off, for example. So what we'll do is create a new user. So in the top right side corner of the screen, you'll see there's a plus symbol. This is for add admin. So what we'll do is click on the plus symbol. Then from the add admin box, in there, we'll type in a username. So I'll type the username in as phone01, phon01. We'll also type in a password in there. And you'll see that it's now saying password is strong. And under use predefined role, what we'll do is leave that ticked, and for the role we'll keep that as super admin. So once we've added that user, we'll click add in the bottom right corner, and this has now added our second user. You'll see we've now got admin and phon01 as the second user, and they are both admins. So now that we've done that, we'll click on console settings from the left hand side, and then you'll see we've got console name UNVR01, which we created in the first step. And for location time zone, we've got UTC +0, and that's for London. What you need to do is just select the time zone that you are in. Under LED LCM screen, there is no LCM screen on the UNVR, but there is a bright LED. I would recommend turning it off if you're in a room where you have the UNVR. For example, in the evening, the light can be quite bright, so I'm actually going to turn off the LED as we don't need it on really. It will actually still blink the drive activity LEDs, so they will just blink on and off, but they're not as bright. So moving down to advanced remote access, we'll leave that disabled. Analytics and improvements, we don't need to send those, so I'll untick that. And secure shell access, I will leave that unticked as well. So scrolling down to Ethernet network, we have IP configuration. It's currently set to DHCP. Now I prefer to have a static IP address for my devices. So what we'll do for IP configuration, change it from DHCP to static. Then for the gateway, what you need to do is enter the IP address of your router. Now as you can see, it's got 192.168.1.1 in there, which I can confirm is the default IP address for my router. So leave that in gateway. If it appears as correct, leave that as it is. Then under IP address, what we need to do is type in a static IP address for which you want to access your NVR with in the future. So I'm going to be using 192.168.1.3. Under netmask, we'll leave that as 255.255.255.0. Now your netmask might be completely different if you are using a different IP address range. For this video, as we're using 192.168 IP address range, we'll leave the netmask as 255.255.255.0. For the primary DNS, you'll see that we've got the default DNS in there, which is 8.8.8.8, and that is one of the Google IP address is for their DNS servers. I'm going to be using the 1.1.1.1 DNS servers, so that would be for the secondary DNS. We'll leave as 1.1.1.1, but in the primary DNS I'm going to be putting in the DNS server which is running on my router, so we'll enter the same IP address as what's in the gateway, which is 192.168.1.1, which is the DNS server running on my local network. So for the secondary DNS server you can use anything you want, but I would recommend selecting a public DNS server, which you can find a list of on the internet by Googling. So for secondary DNS, we'll leave that as 1.1.1.1. Then under the SFP configuration, as we're not using the SFP port on the UNVR, we'll leave the SFP information as it is. So once you've done that, click Apply Changes. What we'll do from the left-hand side is go to Identity Enterprise, and if you click on that, you'll see that there's a blue bar running across the top. This is because the IP address has now changed for our UNVR. So what we need to do is enter the static IP address. As you recall, it was 192.168.1.3. So we'll enter that. Then for the connection is not private, we'll click Advanced again and click Proceed to 192.168.1.3. Then we'll get taken back to the login page. So what we'll do is enter the email or username. So from our list of users, if you recall, we are admin, so we'll enter admin in there, and then what we'll do is enter the password and then click sign in. Now you'll see we're taken back to the OS settings screen and the main application screen. As you'll see here, what we're going to do is hover over Protect here. So what we'll do is click Update for Protect, and you'll see we now have update queued, and then it's flashed and changed now to updating, and there's a bar underneath updating which is a progress bar, so we'll just wait for this to complete. Protect is now started, and you'll now see that it's saying Protect up to date, and we're now on version 3.0.26. So what we'll now do is at the top left corner you'll see that there's a camera symbol next to the U symbol, so click on this. So now that we're in UniFi Protect, and you should see Get Started with UniFi Protect. So what we'll do is from the left hand side option we'll go right to the bottom and click on the gear or cog icon for settings. You should now see that you have recording options in there, so you should have global recording settings. When to record, I would leave that as always, so leave it as default. Recording mode continuous. Create motion events. You will see that we have a tick in there, so leave that as it is. And seconds of motion needed to trigger detection is currently set at 1 second, so we'll leave that as it is. Seconds to record before motion detected is 5 seconds, and seconds to record after motion is 5 seconds. You can move those sliders up and down as you wish, but I'll leave it as 5 seconds. So what it will do is start recording 5 seconds before the event occurred, and also 5 seconds after the event. Now under overlay info we have time, so it will display the time on the recorded videos. You could have it say the camera name, logo, bit rates and so on, whichever one you want, just tick those boxes. Under camera exclusions we have edit selections, so we'll just click there, and as you can see we've got no cameras in there because it hasn't actually detected them yet, so we'll just click cancel. So if you want anything excluded from being recorded, you can just enter it under the camera exclusions section list. Recording retention is currently set at custom. Yours might be set as automatic, but I choose to set it as custom, and delete recordings after 14 days. So then from the left hand side under recordings we'll select system. Now we've got the language, so choose your language which you want. Preferences, time format, you can either use 12-hour clock or 24 hours. I choose to use 24 hours. Temperature, we use Celsius in the UK, so I've selected that. Theme, you can either have it light or dark, whichever you choose. As you'll see, it selects light or dark. Device firmware, you'll see there's an option for check for updates, so we'll click that, and it's saying your device firmware is up to date. Want to have it check for device updates automatically, click on check daily box and then select the time. You can also link it to a Google Drive account to store your recordings. So if you want to do that, you can click on associate my account. I'm not going to have that, I'm just keeping recordings local, so we'll skip that. Smart detection, but if you want smart detection, then tick that box. Under advanced, we have heat map, geofencing, low latency video and auto adopt bridge devices. So we'll leave those all as they are. What we'll do is select the Unified Devices option, which is underneath the dashboard option. Here you'll see we have no Protect devices in there. Now, because we're using a different access point other than a Ubiquiti one, because we're using a Grandstream one, what you need to do to be able to initially adopt the devices, so you only need to do it once when you're adopting the devices, is install UniFi Protect on your mobile phone or tablet from the App Store. So in this case, I'm using the Google Play Store. So what we're going to do is to adopt the devices via Bluetooth. We're going to set up UniFi Protect on my smartphone so that we can adopt the devices initially into UniFi Protect. Once we've done that, they will then appear in this UniFi Protect console on the computer. So what we'll do is connect up the mobile phone and I'll show you what the screen is. So I'll do that now. So as I said, what you need to do is download UniFi Protect. So once you've done that, you need to install it. So just install it on your device. And what you need to do is enable Bluetooth on your device and also connect to your local Wi-Fi network. So connect to your Grandstream Wi-Fi network, enable Bluetooth, which you can see I've already done here. There's the Wi-Fi enabled, Bluetooth enabled. You need to open UniFi Protect and you should then be presented with the login screen. So from the login screen, what you need to do is select Find Local Consoles at the bottom. So here you can see I'm selecting that. You will now see that it's picked up our UNVR on our local network. So what we need to do is click on UNVR. Then you will see it's requesting an email, username and password. So what we need to do is type in the username for the extra account that we created in UniFi Protect on our UNVR. And as you will recall, we created a username PHON01. And then what you need to do is type in the password. And then once you've done that, just click sign in. This is saying UniFi OS Direct Connect, please confirm is your UniFi OS console. So click trust. This will then bring you into your UniFi Protect console and you should see some devices pop up. Here you can see we've got two devices found. We've got a Protect Wi-Fi chime. So what we're going to do is click adopt on that and it's now connecting. So it's now locating Wi-Fi networks and you'll see we've got Wi-Fi networks pop up. If your Wi-Fi network doesn't pop up, what you can do is either select it from the list if it does. If it doesn't, select manually enter SSID. Then what you need to do is type in the SSID, so your Wi-Fi network name for your local Wi-Fi network for your home. In my case, it's 10. So 10 and then a capital S. And then underneath that, what we're going to do is type in the Wi-Fi password, which we use to access our Wi-Fi network with. So what I'm doing is pasting in the password for our Wi-Fi network and then click save. You should now see your attempt to connect into network. So this is your UniFi Protect being paired into that particular Wi-Fi network. And here we go. We've got now name your device. So it's giving us an option to name our smart chime. So I'll call it CHIM01, as in smart chime 01, and then click tick. Then what you need to do is select next. Now it's saying the doorbell required to set up smart chime. Put an X on the top right corner to close that, and we should now be presented with get started with UniFi Protect. So at the bottom what we need to do is adopt our doorbell, and as you can see it's just popped up to be adopted now. So what we'll do is click adopt for our G4 doorbell and just repeat this procedure for any more Protect devices that you have on your network. So I believe it may have already adopted that. So what we'll do to check it is from the bottom we'll click the second icon from the left, and you should see it saying no cameras detected. Here we go, new device found again, so we'll click adopt, and it's now connecting to a network, establishing Wi-Fi network connection. So it's what it's doing is pairing the Wi-Fi network to the G4 doorbell. And we have available networks. So what we'll do is select the network 10S, and here what we'll do is enter the Wi-Fi network password and click OK. Now it's connecting to network, and here we go, it's actually already paired it. So the G4 doorbell is now appeared in UniFi Protect under cameras. So if we click on IoT, you'll see that we now have the smart chime, and as you can see under that it's saying UP chime. So what we'll do is select this, and then we'll make sure that it's paired with our doorbell. So what we need to do, this device must be paired with a doorbell, so we'll click pair chime. Then you'll see that we should have G4 doorbell listed. So select this, which will then put a tick against it, and then select the back arrow. You will now see that it's paired with G4 doorbell. So what we need to do then is go back. So we'll go back with the arrow at the top left, and you'll now see that we're back in the devices, and under IoT devices we have the smart chime. So we'll then select NVR, and here you will see we now have the NVR listed. So we'll go back to cameras just to make sure, and yes, your doorbell is excellent, so it's got an excellent connection and it's still green, so that's active. IoT is also excellent and green dot, so it's active. So just close the app as you would with any other on the phone, and we should then be able to go back to our UniFi Protect on our computer. So we've brought the UniFi Protect back up on the screen, and as you can see we now have a message saying introducing smart detection. So at the moment we'll just close that window. So now you'll see we've got our UniFi Protect devices listed in there. So we've got the doorbell and the smart chime. So now that we've adopted the devices on our mobile phone, this does not need to be done again until you add new devices. So now that we've got those devices in there, we can click on them on our computer and go into the options. So you should be able to see the options pop up at the right hand side. So we've got an overview screen we're in at the moment. So we've got the information, status, connection, and MAC address and IP address and so on. So under recording mode, what we can do is configure the global recording options. So it's ticked at the moment to use global recording settings. Under recording quality, you can have it set as automatic or custom. I like to select custom and have it set as 30 frames per second, so we have smoothest video. And under video compression, we'll set that to custom and slide the bar all the way up to 6 megabits per second to have the best image quality. Then what you can do is scroll down, and for detections and privacy, what you can do is edit your motion zones. So with the purple options, if you select the dots at the top left corner or the bottom corner or the right side corners, you can highlight the purple section where you want the recordings to be detected. It will only detect motion in the purple highlighted zone. So what you need to do is just adjust the purple zone, and that way it will only record under the purple section. All you need to do is just click save and then close the window. So close player, which is the X button there. You can also add privacy zones which you don't want recording, so you can add motion zones and also privacy zones as well. So you just select those options and set it up as you would. It's quite simple to do. So once we've done the G4 doorbell options, what we'll do is click X to close that pop-up panel. So now that we've done that, we can just log out of the UniFi Protect console. So what you need to do, the top left corner where you'll see a person or a head representing a person, click that and then click sign out. And that completes setting up your UniFi Protect UNVR with our Grandstream router, Grandstream switch and Grandstream Wi-Fi access point. So you'll see that these UNVR from UniFi do work with other brands of network devices. Thanks for watching this video. More videos coming again soon. Take care. Bye for now.